Welcome back to another DPS analytic video. This is going to be the 5th week of SSC and TK for the TBC anniversary realms. Starting off as usual, looking at all percentiles, gonna see a very similar story to last week. Essentially the same classes and rankings, but the one thing I noticed right off the rip is the Feral Druid median is bumped up a little bit, and then the Arcane Mage median DPS is also bumped up just a little bit. Pretty much the same rankings as last week in terms of max percentile. Arcane Mage may be bumped up a point or two, but it is really just neck and neck, and we're starting to definitely see a plateau here in terms of DPS. Balanced Druid not doing so hot, still definitely in the lower range compared to some of these other classes. Same thing for Ellie Sham and Shadow Priest. However, they bring enough utility to the raid to still be very desired classes. Just because they're not pumping out insane DPS doesn't mean that they're not good. Moving on to 95th percentile, Arcane Mage well in the lead, followed by pretty much a tie in second place with the BM Hunter and Fury Warrior. And then following that, we have the Destro Lock and then the Rep Heli. And then below the median DPS, we really only have 3 classes that are truly underperforming. Most of these classes could switch and play a different specialization and do far more DPS. The only classes that are truly underperforming are going to be the Ellie Sham, Shadow Priest, and the Balanced Druid. But again, they bring so much value that you're always going to bring at least one of these guys to your raid, regardless of their DPS output. If you're looking at this on what class to play in tier 5 or tier 6, you can honestly play anything. I would say that TBC is very well rounded, especially with getting post-nerf values. The only classes that are a little bit more saturated and harder to find raid spots, I would say, are going to be the Warriors and the Rogues. And then as for max percentile, we finally have the Arcane Mage being beaten by the BM Hunter. Following that, we have Arcane in 2nd, Fury in 3rd, Destro in 4th, and then the Rep Heli in that 5th place spot. Other than that, not too much has changed from the previous week. Only thing I notice here is the Demo Lock and the Affliction Lock bumping up a little bit compared to last week. Now looking at each fight specifically and looking at the top DPS, BM Hunter and then the Arcane Mage, those top 2 spots, pretty far ahead of the pack. Moving on to Lurker, Arcane Mage probably going to be beaten. I said it wouldn't happen, but I think the BM Hunter will probably end up beating them in the weeks to come. And or the Fury Warrior and maybe the Red, who knows? Maybe we can see some jumps in the weeks to come, but I highly doubt it. We'll just have to wait and see. Moving on to Leo, we have the Arcane Mage finally beating most of the melee DPS that excel in this fight. Destro Lock actually starting to creep up here as well. Again, same 3 classes as the previous fights. Next we have Fathomoid, once again dominated by the Fury Warrior and even the Arms Warrior doing very well in these fights. Same thing for the Combat Rogue. This is the cleave fight. They're going to continue to excel at this. And this is going to be the trend going forward for any cleave fights in the future. Moving on to the pure single target fight, Tidewalker, BM Hunter, Arcane Mage, and then the Destro Lock. Next we have Lady Vashj, still dominated by the BM Hunter, Arcane Mage, and Destro Lock. Fury Warrior still putting up some solid numbers as well. Moving on to Alar, BM Hunter, Arcane Mage, Destro Lock, and Fury starting to creep up more and more. This is not a fight that's favored by melee DPS, but Fury Warriors just scale. They just scale way better than any class in the entire game. Next up we have Void Reaver. BM Hunter and Fury Warrior actually probably going to beat the Arcane Mage in the weeks to come. I said it wouldn't happen because of the double Icy Veins, no pushback the Mage can pull off here. But again, Fury Warrior and BM Hunter just proving me wrong. Next we have Solarian, Fury Warrior, BM Hunter, Arcane Mage, and then the Rep Heli. Again, we're seeing the Combat Rogue pop up more and more each and every week. Love to see that. And then finally we have Kel'Thas. Arcane Mage, once again, makes a lot of sense. It's basically a bunch of short boss windows of like 20 to 30 seconds. The only time I think the Arcane Mage kind of falls behind is when the Fury Warrior and BM Hunter are able to hit multiple targets at once. Of course, you have the weapon phase where the Fury Warrior is a little bit weaker compared to like the Arcane Mage or the Destro Lock. But for the most part, you have so much intermission, the Arcane Mage really doesn't have to look at managing their mana at all. Looking at all percentiles once again, I would say this is a pretty healthy chart. In all honesty, way better than what we saw in vanilla. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. If you enjoyed these videos, be sure to let me know by hitting the like button. And as always, be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll see you next time.